that can allow you to stretch the crown of the head toward the sky. You can cross your legs. You can also come to Virasana Hero Pose, sitting between your ankles. And slide a block over there so you can sit on top of it. And cast your gaze down and just let your gaze get soft as the eyelids get heavy. And if it works for you, start gradually close your eyes. If you prefer to keep your eyes open, do try to keep your gaze on the one spot instead of wandering around. And start shift your attention from everything around you to what's happening inside of you, to the sound of your breath. See which body part of you is the most noticeable part when you take a deep inhale and then let everything out. Could be the tip of your nose. Your chest. Can be a rib cage. Or low belly. There's no right or wrong here. Simply breathe. Once you establish that kind of connection between you and your breath, see if you can find something that's familiar to you that from past couple of weeks of practice. See if you can remember that kind of relationship between you and your breath. You can stay here in this sitting meditation. You can also bend your elbows and fist your right hand. Release your right thumb and your right ring finger and your right pinky. Make a Vishnu Mudra. If it feels weird to have your right elbow hanging there, you can grab a block or something that bring it between your right thigh and your right elbow to give it support. When you're ready, bring the right thumb onto the right nostril. Take a breath in through left. And close your left nostril with your right pinky. And release the right and let it out through the right. Inhale through the right. Close the right using your thumb and let it out through the left. That's one round. We'll do a couple more rounds together. Inhale through the left. Close the left and release out through the right. Deep inhale through the right. And exhale, let it out through the left. Inhale through the left. Close the left, release through the right. Inhale through the right. Close the right and let it out through the left. Continue with your own pace. And if for some reason your nose is stuffy or you just don't enjoy this breathing practice, you can just release your right arm down and imagine that you're breathing through one nostril and another. It will be just as powerful. This might be a little bit unusual to you, especially this is the first time you practice anaerobic alternate nostril breathing. But through persistent practice, repetition, we make it part of us. Remember that the focus of pranayama is breath. So if you feel like your intention practicing this, you can adjust your sitting, you can lie down, you can get your eyes closed, or come back to your natural breath so you don't sacrifice the quality of your breathing. A couple of weeks ago, we talked about kapha season, that because of the heaviness and dullness of the mix of water and earth element. So you might find your sitting a little bit more steady compared to a month ago. Notice that kind of steadiness and just let it be part of your practice today and through this kapha season. And after this round, finish 2 more rounds. Release your right hand to your right thigh and cast your gaze down and get your hand in front of the heart. And slowly blink open your eyes. If your legs from feeling tired from that cross leg sitting, you can extend your legs forward and bend your legs, bring the arms behind you and lift your hips up, come into reverse table. Slowly release down and bring your legs back to crossing again with your left leg to the front. Inhale, arms up. And bring the hands behind your skull, interlace your fingers with your left pinky outside. Close your elbows toward the front. Spread your shoulder blades away from each other. Inhale, lift that elbows toward the sky, wouldn't be too much movement. And exhale, close your elbows toward the ground. Stretch the back of the neck. Inhale, lift up the elbows toward the sky. And exhale, lower the elbows toward the ground. Couple more rounds more with your own pace of breathing. Next time when the crown of the head lift up and twist your body toward the left, twist your elbows toward the left. Your neck might tend to do the job for you, turn your head all the way left. Try to close it with the elbows and just let your chest, your torso turn to the left instead of the neck. And perhaps add a little bit more by pressing the right elbow closer to the left elbow. Take a big inhale. And exhale, come back to center. And we'll switch side. Bring your right shin to the front. Lift arms up. Bring the hands behind you with your right pinky outside. Close the elbows toward the front. Inhale, lift the elbows toward the sky. And exhale, hug those elbows toward the chest. Stretch the back neck. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, release down. Continue on your own. And see if you can remember that steadiness of your sitting, even when you're moving. The steadiness that you create a relationship with during our pranayama practice. Last time up. And turn your chest slightly to the right. And see, use the right elbow to protect your neck so it doesn't turn too much toward the back. So it wouldn't be a big movement here, but press the chest toward the right side. You can add to press the left elbow a little bit closer to the right to make even more space between your shoulder blades. Take one big inhale. And exhale, come back to center. Do some shoulder rolls, release some tension from those shoulders. You can also come back into reverse table, lift your hips up. Once you're ready, release your hips down, keep your legs bent, extend your arms forward. Gaze at where the wall and the ceiling meet. You can stay here. Option to lift up one leg. Make the shin that parallel to the ceiling. Option to lift both. Option to straighten both legs into full boat pose, Navasana. Tuck your chin toward the chest and start slowly. Release all the way down to the back. Extend the arms over the head. Walk the heels away from you. And then hug both knees into the chest. Interlace your hands with the left pinky outside in front of the left shin, then extend the right leg long. But keep the right leg slightly floating above the ground. And extend your left leg straight and bend the right leg in and release the left leg almost to the ground. Tuck the right knee into the chest. And extend the right leg, we'll switch to the left side again. And with breathing pace, we'll switch between sides. You can stay here with the help of the interlace of your hands. You can also release your arms by the side. Another option is interlace your hands, bring them behind your skull. And if you keep the hands behind your skull, option to lift your shoulders away from the ground. Slow with control with each transition. Last couple of rounds. And next time when you draw your right knee in, release your shoulders down if your shoulders are floating. And draw the left leg in as well and just rock back to back and forth and side to side. Rock yourself into a seated pose. And as something that we've been practicing before, that keep your legs crossing, you can bring the hands behind you and use the support of the hands to support yourself, standing all the way up. And uncross the legs, inhale, arms up. Exhale, side bend to the left. Back all the way up. And side bend to the right. Right hand grab left wrist. Come back to center and fold over the legs. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Shooting out through the crown of the head. And exhale, step your left and right, come into a high plank. If you have wrist injuries or you're feeling fatigued, you can release your knees down. Wherever you are, bend your elbows. Release all the way down to your belly. Inhale, lift your chest up, hugging your elbows towards the chest. Exhale, release down. And push yourself back into child pose. Push your hips toward the heels. Alasana. Tuck your toes and lift your hips all the way up and straighten both legs into downward facing dog. If this is your first down dog of today, make sure that you bend into one leg and another so you can make some space into the back of your legs. And push into all the fingertips of the hands. And press the chest toward the thigh bones. When you find stillness in your downward facing dog, bring the left foot in between the hands and lower your right knee down. You can bring a blanket underneath your right knee. If you don't have anything to pad your right knee, you can fold the right long edge of the mat slightly in so you can have a double padding. If you have a block, find the block. If you don't, you can just bring the hands behind the skull and close your elbows just like at the beginning. Inhale, lift the elbows toward the sky. And exhale, straighten your left leg, hugging both thigh bones in for the midline. Flex your left foot. Hug your elbows toward the ground. Inhale, lift your chest up. Lower your pelvis down. Exhale, pin your left hip back, straighten your left leg. Bring your elbows down towards the ground. Inhale, lift your elbows, your chest up. Hug your both thigh bones toward the midline. Exhale, pin your left hip down. Flex your left foot. Come back forward again. If you have the block, hold the block with the left hand, bring it to the left side as a support, and extend your right arm over your right ear. If you don't have a block, you can bring your left hand on your left hip, side bend to the left side. Keep hugging both thigh bones toward the midline. And exhale, come back to center and release both hands to the right side. Spin your right shin to the left side, 90 degrees. Let me switch side. And extend your left foot toward the front and come all the way up to gate pose. Side bend to the left side, right arm by the right ear, left hand on the left shin. And cartwheel your right hand all the way down to the ground, to the back of the mat. Extend your left arm by your left ear. Option to stay here. Option to lift your left leg up into a supported half moon. Just let the left side body grow. And reaching towards both directions through the left fingertips and your left heel. Exhale, draw your left elbow in your left knee. Inhale, extend left arm, left leg long. Exhale, draw your left knee and left elbow in. One more time. And release your left foot down and bring yourself back to that gate pose. And cartwheel your hands to frame your left foot at the front of the mat. Lift your back knee up and step your right foot lightly at the front. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold over the legs, or Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, one more time. Exhale, fold over the legs. Rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center by the side. Inhale, arms up. Bring your right leg behind your left and side bend to the left side. Come back to center. Left leg behind the right. and side bend to the right. Let the left side waist to grow. Come back to center. And release all the way down into Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold over the legs. Step your right and left to the back. Knees up or down, inhale. And exhale, bend to your elbows. Come all the way down to your belly. And inhale, baby cobra. This time, option to straighten both arms. Lift your knees away from the ground into upward facing dog. Exhale, push your hips up into downward facing dog. Might be a familiar face for you already. If it is not, take your time to re-establish that relationship. Whenever you're ready, lift up your right leg and step it between the hands. And release your left knee down. You can switch the interlace of your hands behind the skull. You can find the block again if you prefer it that way, and bring the block behind the skull. Hugging your elbows in, lift your chest up. Adjust your legs, make sure that your left knee is slightly behind your left hip. Inhale, lift your elbows up, open the chest. And exhale, hugging both thigh bones toward the midline and straighten your right leg. Your elbows toward the ground. Flex your right foot. Inhale, lengthen the spine, the elbows toward the sky. Exhale, pin your right hip toward the back. Press the back of the right leg toward the ground. One more time. Next time, when chest forward again. Release your right hand to your right hip. If you have a block, you can release the block the highest height to the right side as support. And side bend to the right, left arm by the left ear. Keep hugging both thigh bones toward the midline. And exhale, release both hands to the left side. Spin your left shin. Bend into the right elbow. Kind of like a supported warrior two. Extend your right leg. Climb yourself all the way up and extend arms out into a gate pose. Inhale, reaching through both fingertips, and exhale, side bend to the right. Come all the way up and bring your left hand down to the back of the mat. Lift up your right leg if it's possible. And extend the right arm by the right ear. Reaching long through the right fingertips and the right heel. Take one big inhale. And exhale, draw your right knee and your right elbow towards each other. Inhale, kick it along. Exhale, draw the right knee and right elbow into each other. Last time. After the last round, release your right foot down and find your way back into gate pose and side bend to the right side again. And come back up. And bring yourself to the front, bend into the right leg, lift up your left knee, and step it forward. Inhale, lengthen the spine. And exhale, fold over the legs, Uttanasana. Rise all the way up. And exhale, hand to heart by the side, Tadasana. And we'll practice Uddiyana Bandha today, fire log. If you have any abdominal injuries in the past 10 years or something that skip this, you can just simply bend your legs, hands on the top of the thighs, and just do your natural breath here. If you'd like to try, take a big inhale and exhale everything out. And hold the breath Open the chest and pull it forward, which is going to bring your navel up toward the rib cage. Whenever you're ready, start slowly, take a breath in. You can fold over the legs. And if you're ready to try another round, come back into this squatting position again. Take a big inhale. And exhale, let everything out. Hold the breath there. And pull the chest forward. And exhale, fold over the legs. Wherever you are, whether you try it or not, fold over the legs and step it back into a high plank. Bend into elbows. Inhale, pull into upward facing dog or baby cobra. And exhale, push your hips back into a child pose. From child pose, bring the arms by the side. We'll flow a couple rounds of moon salutation today. And if you like to stick to something else like traditional Surya Namaskar A or B, please feel free to do so. Otherwise, come stand on your shins and gradually open your arms and bring it all the way up into a full moon above the head. And bring the hands to the front. Round your upper back and tuck your toes and lift your hips up into a downward facing dog. Step the left foot in between the hands, drop your right knee down. Hugging both thigh bones toward the midline, arms up by the ears. Exhale, hands down, step the right foot to meet with the left. Inhale, lengthen the spine, Uttanasana. And exhale, fold over the legs and rise all the way up. And exhale, fold over the down and step your left foot back. Release your left knee down. Both arms up. And exhale, hands down. Step your right foot to meet with your left and push yourself back into a child pose. Bring the arms by the legs. Inhale, rise up. Bring both arms up into a full moon above the head. Bring the hands down. Round your upper back. Push your hips up into a downward facing dog. Step right foot in between the hands. Release the left knee down. Open the arms up. Exhale, hands down. Step your left foot. Meet with the right. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold over the legs. Draw a full moon with your arms. Exhale, bring your moon all the way down. And step your right leg back. Release your right knee down. Both arms up. Both hands down. Step your left knee to meet with the right and push yourself back into a child pose. Bring the arms by the ears. That's one round on each side. We'll float one more round together. Draw your arms up above the head. Exhale, hands down. Push your hips up. Step your left foot between the hands. Drop your right knee down. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands down. Step your right foot meet with your left. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold over the legs. Inhale, both arms out. Draw the full moon again. And exhale, bring your moon all the way down. And step your left foot back. Release your left knee down. Arms up. Both hands down. Step your right knee back and push yourself back into a child pose. Bring the arms by the legs. Draw a full moon with your arms. And exhale, hands to the front. And push your hips up into downward facing dog. Step right foot to the front. Drop your left knee down. Open the arms. Arms by the ears. Release both hands down. Step your left foot forward. Inhale, lengthen the spine. And exhale, fold over the legs. Open the arms. Come all the way up. And exhale, when your moon, both hands down, step your right foot back. Release your right knee down. Both arms up by the ears. And hands down, step left knee back. And push yourself into a child pose. Bring the arms by the side. Float one more round on each side on your own so you can create a relationship and ownership with your practice. You can also change into something that you're more familiar with. If you feel fatigued, feel free to come into child pose or cat and cow. You can also come into an early Shavasana. Take your time to finish your flow. We'll all meet in Balasana child pose. And once you arrive in child pose, you can come up standing on shin and grab the ankles with your hands. Make sure you have a steady foundation first. Just remember from the past couple of weeks that to fight the internal and external resistance, we need a steady foundation to stay strong and steady. And tuck your chin to the chest and roll your chin all the way down along the midline and to the knees until the crown of the head hitting the ground. Rabbit pose. Even this is an inversion that our heart is lower than our hip, we still try to create, maintain that steady foundation here. And to come out, slowly roll your chin back along toward the same line. Bring your hands toward the front and push your hips up into a downward facing dog. Step the left foot to the front. And bring the arms by the side. Come into a power lunge. Point your fingertips toward the back, bend into the left leg. Press the back of your right leg toward the sky. And come all the way, cartwheel your arms up, come all the way up into a high lunge. And clasp your hands behind the skull with the left pinky outside. And hug your elbows in. Inhale, lift the chest up. And exhale, hug your elbows down. Inhale, lift the elbows up. Exhale, stretch the back of the leg. One more time. Now exhale, release both hands. Actually, open the arms. Spin down your right heel, bending the left leg into warrior two. Straighten your left leg and parallel your feet. Hands on the hips, hugging both elbows towards the midline. And exhale, slowly fold over the legs. Press into the pinky edge of both feet. Engage the back of the legs. And bring the hands to the hips and come all the way up. And repoint your left toes toward the front. Push into the pinky edge of the right foot. And open your arms again, come back into warrior two. Reverse warrior, release the right hand to the right shin, left arm by the left ear. Straighten your left leg. And come all the way up. You can step your right foot slightly in and stretch your left hand toward the front until you reach the sticky point that you cannot go further anymore. And release your left hand on the left shin, left ankle, or on the block, or on the ground, depending on your body proportion. And keep your right arm toward the sky, Trikonasana, triangle pose. Press your left leg toward the midline. So you feel that resistance between the left arm and the left leg, which creates a steady foundation for you. And carve your both hands down, bend into left leg, and step your left foot back into a high plank. Release left arm, forearm down, release the right forearm down into a forearm plank. And step your left hand and right hand, come back into a high plank. Really depends. We're all gonna meet in that forearm plank, so you can stay there if you like to. But if you feel like you have more energy to burn out, you can transition in between. Make sure every time you lead with your left hand, up or down. Whenever you arrive next to forearm plank, interlace your hands with the left pinky outside and pike your hips up, walk your feet closer to you into a dolphin pose. And remember the feeling in downward facing dog, we were pressing our chest toward the thigh bones. Same thing here in this dolphin pose. Press into the forearms to push the chest toward the thigh bone, push the heels toward the ground. And step the feet away from you. Release your pelvis down, open the chest, come into Sphinx pose. And hands by the chest and push yourself back into a child pose. Catch your breath here. And whenever you're ready, tuck your toes and push your hips up into a downward facing dog. Lift up your right leg. Draw your right knee into the chest and round your upper back. Inhale, kick the right leg back. Exhale, draw the right knee into the chest. One more time. And step the right foot in between the hands. Come up onto the balls of the left foot. Bring the arms by the side, reaching both fingertips toward the back of the room. Bend into the right leg. And cartwheel your arms all the way up into a high lunge. Press the back of the left leg toward the sky. Clasp your hands with the right pinky outside and hug your elbows in. Inhale, lift the elbows up. Exhale, hug both elbows down toward the right knee. Inhale, elbows up. Exhale, hug the elbows down. One more time. Spin down your left heel and bending the right leg, open the arms into warrior two. Reaching long through both fingertips. And straighten the right leg, parallel your feet, hands on the hips. Hug your elbows toward the back. Now exhale, slowly release yourself towards wide leg folding. Remember to press into the pinky edge of both feet. Give yourself a moment in this upside down. Especially if your hands are not exactly on the ground, you might do not have so much support, which gives you a sense of insecurity. See if what you can give to yourself to bring that security back. Maybe hands on the blocks, maybe widen the distance between your feet. Can be your forehead on the block. Bring the hands on the hips and come all the way up. And point your right toes toward the front and extend arms out into warrior two again. Reverse your warrior. Right arm by the right ear. Straighten the right leg. And come all the way up. And reaching your right hand toward the front. And raise the right hand on the right shin or on the ground into a Trikonasana, triangle pose. Rotate your chest to rib cage toward the sky. Pull your right hip in instead of letting it split out. Press into the pinky edge of the left foot. Next, exhale, bend into the right leg, both hands down, step your right foot back into a high plank. Release your right elbow down, and then left elbow. Same thing on the other side, we're gonna meet in this forearm plank anyway. You can release your knees down if you feel like it's too much for you. Otherwise, step your right hand back, left hand back into a high plank. And right elbow down, left elbow. Transition in between a couple times. Pull the navel towards the spine. Keep the back of the legs engaged. Next time when your elbows are down, clasp your hands with your right pinky outside and walk the feet closer to you. And pike your hips up and press the chest toward the thigh bones into a dolphin pose. Step both feet back, come into a forearm plank, and release the pelvis down, and open the chest. Hands by the chest, and push yourself into a child pose. Whenever you're ready, tuck your toes and push your hips up into a downward facing dog. Lift up your left leg and draw the left knee into the chest. Inhale, extend the left leg back. Exhale, draw the left knee into the chest. One more time. And step the left foot in between the hands. Bring the arms by the side. You can continue what we did in last round. You can also, like in last class, what we did was extend one arm or both arms by the ears to give it a little bit more length, which creates more resistance to the gravity, which makes it more challenging. And come all the way up into a high lunge. For high lunge, release the left arm toward the right thigh and side bend to the left, which is kind of like a mix of twisting and side bend. Keep hugging both thigh bones to the midline so you stay centered. And exhale, spin down your right heel. Open the arms into warrior two. Straighten your left leg, parallel your feet. Hands on the hips. You can also bring the hands behind your skull and hug your elbows in. And start slowly. Release the elbows with the head toward the ground. Option to stay here with that neck stretch. Option to release your right hand down, extend your left arm up. Left hand down, right hand up. You can bring the hands on the hips. You can bring the hands back to behind the skull. Right all the way up. Bending to the left leg again. Open the arms, warrior two, and flip the warrior. Straighten the left leg. Come all the way up. Reach your left hand toward the front and release into a Trikonasana triangle pose. And this time maybe extend the right arm by the right ear, extended Trikonasana. Reaching long to those right fingertips and press into the pinky edge of the right foot. Let the right side body grow and rotate the rib cage toward the sky. Bend into the left leg, both hands framing the left foot, and step your left foot back, but keep it float if you can. And push into down dog split. And come into a high plank with the left foot floating. And lower down to the left elbow and the right elbow with left foot floating. It's perfectly fine if you decide to lower down your left foot. As when we're breathing, there's no right or wrong. And once you arrived on your forearm plank, you can start walk the feet closer to you. If your left foot is still floating, you can hop the right foot forward. Basically a dolphin pose with your left leg lifting. Keep pointing your left toes toward the ground so your hips stay even. Whenever you're ready, release both feet down, step them back, and release your pelvis down. And open the chest into Sphinx pose. And hands by the chest, push yourself into a child pose. Whenever you're ready, push yourself into a downward facing dog. Step your right foot in between the hands. Bring the arms by the sides, can be by the ears as well. Depends on how much resistance you want to create here. And come all the way up into a high crescent lunge. Inhale, reaching tall through both fingertips. And exhale, bring your right hand to the back of the left thigh bone. And side bend to the left side. Keep hugging both thigh bones toward the midline. Exhale, open the arms, bend into the right leg, spin down your left heel into warrior two. Parallel your feet, both hands on the hips. Option to bring the hands behind the skull, which is going to be even less support compared to hands on the hips. And close the elbows. Press into the pinky edge of both feet and start slowly lower the chest down toward the ground. Option to stay here. Option to release left hand down, extend the right arm up. You can also bring the right hand behind the skull and just turn your chest toward the sky. And switch side, right hand down. And whenever you're ready to come up, hands on the hips or hands behind the skull, and come all the way up. Bend into the right leg, and open the arms into warrior two. Reverse warrior. Straighten your right leg. Come all the way up. Extend the right hand forward. Raise the right hand on the right shin or on the ground. Left hand up toward the sky. Work with that kind of resistance that you're remembering. That's part of you because you've been working with it, not against it. Option to extend the left arm by the left ear. Reaching long through those left fingertips. So let the left side body grow. Push into the left heel. Bend into the right leg, both hands down, and step your right foot back and push into down dog split with the right leg floating. And rock forward into a high plank. Keep the right leg floating if you can. And lower down to right elbow and left elbow. Clasp your hands with your right pinky outside. And start walk the feet close to you. If your right leg still floating, you can hop the left foot forward. And step your right foot down, step your left foot back. Release the pelvis down. Open the arms into Sphinx pose. Elbows underneath the shoulders. And hands by the chest. Push yourself all the way back into a child pose. Take a moment in this child pose, knowing that we're not rushing to anywhere. If this is where you decide to end your practice today, it's perfectly fine. But if you like to explore a little bit more, come up, sit on your shin and watch. So a couple options here. You can come up into the rabbit pose that we did at the beginning again. You can also come into a dolphin pose. You can also do some form stand hop. It'll be really helpful. You can bring yourself close to the wall for this. But one more thing that you can try today is headstand Shirshasana. So if you like to give it a try, do bring yourself close to the wall where you can lean your legs only. But avoid it if you have neck injuries. So if you like to try headstand today, clasp your hands with either pinky outside, maybe left pinky first. Bring it down. Your elbows, the distance of your shoulders, if you're not sure how far it is, you can try to touch up the shoulders with your hands. That's about the distance of your shoulders. Then clasp your hands and tuck the toes And lift your hips up and bring the crown of the head into that cup. Instead, walk the feet closer to you. Option to stay here. And then one of the safe way to come up is hug one of leg or both into your chest like a ball. And only after you feel like you have a stable foundation upside down, then you start reaching both legs toward the sky. Same thing on the other side. You can just switch the claps of hands and start with drawing your right leg close to chest first. If none of those upside down that works for you, you can also come down onto your back and stretch the legs toward the sky into a waterfall pose. But any one of the poses that I was offering that you decide to do, make sure you do it symmetrically. So you do both sides. If you did come into headstand, make sure that you come into child pose as a counter pose. And whatever you tried, bring your hands forward and push your hips up into downward facing dog. Bring the right knee behind the right hand, right foot behind the left hand. Slide a block or folded blanket underneath your right hip. Stand up for a little bit first. Give yourself the support that you need under your hips so you can get comfortable. I mean, a little bit more comfortable. So I feel like for pigeon pose, you would never be too comfortable for most of us. And start slowly walk yourself down to the elbows. Stack the hands and release the forehead on the top. Ekapada Raja Kapotasana. Pigeon pose. So let the space in the right outer hip getting open. We've been through some familiar and unfamiliar shapes today that we did that through the last couple of weeks of practice. Just as every week's practice, those shapes only serve as a container of our yoga practice. Just slowly walk yourself back up. And step your right leg back. Step your left foot forward. And drop your right knee down so we're opening that right front hip space that has been compressed. Once you're ready, Bring the left knee behind the left hand, and left foot behind the right hand. Slide a block or some folded blanket underneath your left hip. Make yourself stable first by adjusting the block, your legs, before you start slowly coming down to the elbows and stack the hands and stack the forehead on the top. Each side is different. Notice that how your mind reacts that difference. And I was saying earlier that all the shapes serves as just a container, just as tool for us to remember that who we truly are, to remove those clouds that got imposed on us by everything around us. And whenever you're ready to start, slowly walk yourself up and step the left foot back and switch your right foot forward. Same thing, drop your left knee down. Reopen the space of the front hip. And whenever you're ready, come down onto your back. Bend the legs in. And lift the hips up into Sadhubandha Sarvangasana, bridge pose. If your energy is low, you can slide a block underneath your sacrum for supported bridge pose. If you like to stay active, you can remove the block. You can also clasp your hands underneath your hips and come up onto your shoulders to create more shoulder opening at the end. Depends on what your body is calling for this moment. And stay here. You can also release the hips down. Cross the right ankle over the left knee. Use the right hand to gently open the right knee and release the right foot and left knee to the left side. Open the right arm to the right side. And continue gently push the right knee with the left hand. So to invite some space in the right hip socket. Come back to center. We switch sides, cross the left ankle over the right knee. Use the left hand to press open the left knee. And start slowly drop the left foot and right knee to the right side and left hand toward the left side. Use the right hand to continue to gently open the left knee. Bring yourself back up and hug the knees in to the chest. If there's any clothing shape you would like to take, feel free to do so. Can be a waterfall, Can be back to bridge pose, can be Ananda Balasana, happy baby pose. And whenever you're ready to close your practice, you can extend your arms, your legs out. Let your eyelids be heavy again. Let your gaze be soft. Start gradually close eyes with the sound of your inhale and exhale. And if you like to close the class with another seated meditation, please feel free to do so. Otherwise, Shavasana. You're not rushing to anywhere after this. Please feel free to stay here if you like to. Otherwise, if you're ready to come out, start wiggling your toes, your fingertips, and gently sway your head side to side. Carefully bend one leg and another in. And raise yourself up into a comfortable seat. The palms facing down. If it resonates with you, get your hands in front of your heart as prayer. Take one big inhale. Next, let everything out. One more big inhale. Bow your head slightly towards heart. Slowly blink open your eyes. Thank you so much for coming. If you have any feedback or question, feel free to let me know. Feel free to unmute yourself or turn on your camera to say hi.